It's the NFL on EA Sports, and the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Seattle Seahawks and the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to the heart of Texas and the spectacular AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Good to be in the booth with my partner Greg Olson. I'm Mike Tirico. Welcome, and Greg, this is one of those that's worthy of prime time because wide receivers love the spotlight as much as any position group in the league, and we got two guys who shine under the lights here tonight.
And I think where it's going to be really fun and get interesting to watch, Mike, is in those critical situations. The game's on the line, third down, red zone, gotta have it moments. There is no mystery. Both these sidelines, they know exactly where the ball's going, and they're just going to say, I dare you to stop them. These are two prime, elite wide receivers in the National Football League. Night game, prime time, they're looking to put on a show.
We are ready, and so is Brandon Aubrey to kick this one off. And off we go from spectacular AT&T Stadium. And it'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. Here comes the Seattle offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by a young man who's making a name for himself, their rookie quarterback.
I think we're seeing this so often now in the modern NFL is quarterbacks who can hurt you both improv as a scrambler and also with designed runs coming out of the huddle. So this is a tricky situation. Guys who can run with this kind of speed, you have to be very careful how you pass rush them. You're not just rushing to a spot. It's not just an X behind the center. You got to try to corral him and keep him in the pocket because when he escapes, big plays are to be had.
They face second down and 7. They'll keep it on the ground and keep it with Walker. He'll turn this into a gain of about 4. It's going to lead to third down. Off the play fake. He'll look to throw. He'll try to run for it. A great job of knowing when to go. He gets 17 yards on that run and a first down.
This is an element that defensively you always have to be ready to defend. You can't just accept that it's a pass and be so consumed with the receivers downfield. You have to account for the quarterback as a scrambler. You can see why, as he's able to get out of the pocket and pick up the first down.
Set to go now on 1st and 10. From the 50, he'll set up to throw. Complete to the former Buckeye, Jackson Smith-Njigba. That's a nice pickup on a first down throw. It's a gain of 8.
As a route runner, once you identify zone coverage like they were playing here, the key is find open space and stay in it. He did a nice job here because that was not a big hole. The quarterback had to put a little extra on that one, and they were able to make the completion.
Off play action. He'll set up to throw. And they get to him and finally bring him down. It will go down as a sack.
Once the quarterback leaves the pocket, the hope is that it buys him a little time to allow second reaction from his receivers downfield. What he's not accounting for is the speed of a lot of these defensive ends in the league, Mike. He closed that distance a lot faster than I think the quarterback anticipated, and he comes away with the sack. That's a heck of a stop by this defense early in this game, Mike, and it sets up a decision for the offense. You might be a little too far away to attempt a realistic field goal, but you might be a little too close to get anything out of the punt unit. I think I'm keeping the offense on. I'm trying to extend this drive, and I'm being aggressive here early.
On 4th down, the veteran Jason Myers for the Seattle field goal. This a 57-yard attempt. Myers' kick is good. And the Seahawks will take a 3-0 lead.
And that's a good drive right out of the gate. They're able to make some plays, move the ball down the field. I know they didn't get a touchdown, but that is a good, positive result.
3 points on that opening drive. We'll see the response as the kick's away. And he's brought down right at the 35-yard line. So that Cowboy offense takes the field, ready to go to work for the first time. They are led out by their quarterback, Dak Prescott.
And here we see Dak Prescott taking the field, Mike, coming off what a lot of people thought was an MVP caliber season. He finished runner-up, of course, to Lamar Jackson. And people love to nitpick Dak's game. I don't know if it's because he plays for the Cowboys and people love to hate. But regardless, he is as talented as they come. He is the leader of that team. He needs to have the postseason success that he has found in the regular season. Once he does that, I'm not sure what's left to nitpick.
Give him 14 on that play, one first down.
Every once in a while, it just comes down to you need somebody in the huddle to just make a play, and it wasn't a whole lot fancy here. The quarterback just dumps the ball down, a quick underneath completion, and then really it's the yards after catch that did the rest, and that's what it takes. You're not always going to have the perfect play. You're not always going to dial up the perfect play against the perfect look. Sometimes players need to make plays, and that was a good one there.
Here's 2nd and 6. Now it's a bootleg with Prescott. Now he'll run.
Well, let's give credit here to the coverage unit, Mike. There was nowhere to go with the ball for that quarterback. He had no choice but to just tuck it down himself, and he's able only to pick up a short gain.
3rd down, 3 to go. Prescott. He's got his man. It's Pickens. And he will have the first down. The drive will continue after a pickup of 8.
Mike, I think we make so much of all these fancy routes, right? The selling, the head fakes, getting in and out of the break. And while that's really important to create separation, that's really more of a man beater. That's when teams want to just play you one-on-one and you have to beat the defender. Against zone defense like we saw here, it's a lot more simpler. Understand the concept of the play, understand where the...
And he's going to run out of time. They get to him and bring him down.
Well, Mike, the other day we heard how the offensive coordinator wanted to start fast offensively, but here so far, it's been the pass rush and the defense who's gotten out to the quick start.
Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. A shotgun snap for Prescott. And this ball batted away and incomplete. He was trying to get it to C.D. Lamb. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
He does a fantastic job, Mike, of not only locating the ball in the air, but then attacking it hands on hands. That's exactly something they work on every week in practice. Great job translating those drills into a live game.
He'll try and get there on the ground. What a letdown for the defense. They allow a conversion on 3rd and 16.
You know this defense worked all week defending this quarterback as a scrambler, as a runner. But sometimes it's just hard to simulate until you see him in real life. His speed, his ability to create. We saw him get him here early on the big scramble. He's able to pick up the first down to keep the drive alive.
And he is planted in the backfield. Defenders crashing through, blow up that play behind the line.
Every team makes an emphasis on winning first down, but as a defense, when you're able to take them back for a loss, 2nd and long, you can really become more of a pass-centric defense and really tips the scales into your favor.
Now a 2nd down throw for Prescott. That's to the left side. He's got Ferguson. And he's going to be dropped after a pickup of about 5. Converted twice on third down already on this drive. Now can they do it for a third time? Prescott now. That's going to be intercepted in the end zone. Picked off by Shaquille Griffin. Now after the interception, we have an injured player to look at. And as the medical staff looks him over, we'll step aside. So they come to the line for first down and 10. This drive starts on the ground with Walker. And a nice gain there on first down. He takes it forward for 8 yards. They'll come to the line now on 2nd and 2. Once again, it's Walker. And he's going to be taken down up around the 24-yard line.
And a nice pickup there by the back with an explosive run play. And it's important to point out, Mike, this offensive play caller, he's still working off that opening script. It doesn't necessarily have to just be the first possession. Using formations, using run game and pass. Unmask the defense and understand where to take the play calling as the game unfolds.
That's a nice pickup on a first down throw. It's a gain of 8.
Well, let's give some credit to the big boys up front in the trenches. They knew that blitz was coming. They held up just long enough that the quarterback could get that ball out safely and results in a completion.
Here's 2nd and 2. On the bootleg, he'll look to throw. And this throw batted away and incomplete. Deron Bland, good coverage, and he gets his hands on that one.
And the success of this play, Mike, all comes down to the timing of the defender. You get there a little bit too early, you risk pass interference. You get there a little too late, it's a big pass completion. Timing your hand and playing through the ball is something they work on with these defenders all the time. And next time they throw the ball downfield, I wouldn't be surprised if they target somebody else.
So we've played one quarter here on a Monday night. It's the Seahawks with the early lead. We're back to Arlington in a moment. So it's fourth down. The Seahawks send out the Aussie Michael Dixon to punt. Cavante Turpin to return for the Cowboys. And not much doing there. They made sure he would not get free. The Cowboys offense ready to see what they can do on their second possession. This one has been tight so far. A field goal separating the two sides. Oh, the struggles continue. Another interception. And his offense is going to be all set up with a short field and a chance to extend their lead.
Well, Mike, once again, this drive, it ends the same way their last one did, walking off the field following an interception. Now, you're hoping this is more momentary struggle than it is a trend, but as hard as it is to do, they need to get calmed down. They need to reset because their offense cannot operate at a high level if they don't have confidence in this passing game.
A fresh set of downs to work with. It is first down and 10. Right away, they'll set up to throw. He'll locate Cup. And they'll get about half of what they needed. It's a pickup of 5 and sets up 2nd and 5.
This is one of those throws where you're hoping you do most of the damage after the catch, but give credit to the defense. Once that ball was caught, they were on him quickly, and there was nowhere for him to go after the catch.
He'll look to throw. Open man, that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And that's a first down. It will be a gain of 8.
One of the easiest ways to negate these really good pass rushes in the NFL, Mike, is just to simply get the ball out of the quarterback's hand as fast as possible. And sometimes it's by design, sometimes it's based on need. But really nice job there by the quarterback, getting into the hands of his receiver and then see what he can do after the catch.
And that keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a first down completion of 7 yards. Here's 2nd and 3 to go. Back to the air one more time. The coverage too strong that time. The ball batted away and incomplete. Deron Bland, good coverage, and he gets his hands on that one.
Well defended there. The quarterback's trying to attack this defense outside the numbers. Those really wide angle throws near the sideline sometimes can be very hard to defend, so give a lot of credit to this secondary. They were all on the same page, and the ball falls incomplete.
That's caught. It's Kenneth Walker. And he will not quite get to the marker. Good job there defensively, and now decision time. What are you going to do on 4th down?
The initial reaction is, how does this quarterback not throw the ball past the first down line to gain to try to extend this drive? And the reality is, because they've already decided they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Now this is going to be a design run. They let him keep it. Oh, he's going to be very close. It depends on the mark. But he is short. They've held him on 4th down.
And here we have a real gutsy call here, Mike, early in this game offensively. I think you're giving up a surefire field goal attempt, but at the same time, you're demonstrating to your players, hey, offense, I have a lot of trust in you, and let's see if they have this same approach as the rest of this game plays on.
So now here are the Cowboys. Their offense ready to make their way back onto the field. They'll start from their own 4. Not a lot of room for error back here. It's 1st and 10. Here's a 2nd and 6. A handoff as they try to run it here. And he'll work his way up past the 10 to the 15. That's good enough to give him some breathing room and give him a first down. From the shotgun, it's Dak. He'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
You can't fault the quarterback on this one, Mike. He really didn't even have much of an opportunity. By the time he hit the top of his drop and got his eyes downfield, the defense was all over him, and he really had no choice but to just get that ball out of his hand and live to play another snap.
From the gun, they'll try to run it. And this defense up to the task there. Gain of just 2, and it's 3rd down. Operating from the gun, here's Dak. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
I'll tell you what, if the offensive lineman had the same level of fight and effort that the quarterback did, they wouldn't be in this situation. It's a shame because that individual effort went a long way towards extending that play, and it still ended up resulting in a sack.
On 4th down, the veteran Brian Anger on to punt for Dallas, as he'll have to hit it from his own end zone. A fair catch called for and taken out beyond the 45-yard line. The Seahawks offense headed back to take over once more. They'll look to build on their 3-0 lead as this drive starts with a 1st and 10. On the ground, it's Walker to start the drive. And he'll get back maybe to the line of scrimmage, but probably going to be a loss of a yard here.
Well, they try to get the run game started here early on this drive, Mike, and they're just going to have to do a better job up front. There's really nowhere for this ball carrier to go. You never want to lose yards on first down, but that's exactly the case here.
RPO and a quick hit to Smith and Jigba. And they'll hold him to a gain of just a couple and sets up third down. He'll drop to throw. He's going to let this one go deep. That's caught! And they bring him down there, but it is inside the 10. It is going to be first and goal.
If you want to score points at a high level in the NFL, you have to generate explosive plays. And after that big chunk pass play, they find themselves now down there in the red zone, and this is where you have to finish drives.
Now a chance to pay off that big play. They have it first and goal. Here's Walker. He'll be wrapped up there down at the 3-yard line. Here now, second down and goal. Back to throw. Under pressure, and down he goes. They got him.
Sometimes, Mike, your greatest strength can also be a little bit of your weakness. In this case, he is so used to being able to buy more time with his feet, extend the play, give his targets more time downfield to uncover. In this case, nothing materializes, tried to do too much, and as a result, takes a big loss.
Two minutes remain in a 3-0 first half. Greg and I back to Arlington at AT&T Stadium after this. Throwing here on third and goal.
I think this is one of those plays that when the ball carrier watches this back in the film room tomorrow, he's going to be a little frustrated with himself. If he could just have made that one guy miss, he picks up the first down. Instead, he gets brought down short of the sticks, and now they got a fourth down decision to make.
He is 2 for 2. That kick is good. And the Seahawks, on the strength of 2 field goals, take a 6-0 lead.
You know, I think it's safe to say here, Mike, as this offense leaves the field, they wanted to stay out there and go for it. But I think in this case, the coach is playing the long game. He understands that these 3 points now can end up being very valuable as this game moves along.
And he's brought down right at the 35-yard line. The Cowboys offense back onto the field for their next possession. They're still in search for their first points in this one, but only trailing 6-0. And this drive will begin with the first down. Now Prescott. He'll let this go for Pickens. And penalty flags come in as it winds up incomplete, but no doubt there was contact there. Here's 1st and 10. To throw is Prescott. It is brought in the end zone. Touchdown, Dallas.
What separates the really good quarterbacks from everybody else in the National Football League, Mike, is not only ability to process, but the ability to process quickly under pressure. And I think that's exactly the case here. He's able to go through his progression, find his target in the end zone, and then deliver that ball on time, accurately, and the result is a touchdown.
Brandon Aubrey now for the extra point. He knocks it through. The Cowboys move out in front by a point. It's 7-6. So now, after the touchdown, out is Aubrey to kick this one away. A return now from the 4. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. The Seahawks offense ready to take over once more. The deficit is 1, as they'll search now for that go-ahead score. Back to throw here to begin the drive. They'll try to set up the screen here with Walker. And that screen slow to develop, and they rally to the ball and stop him. That will be no gain on the screen.
It's a really good job defensively. The key is you don't want your defensive linemen to overcommit to rushing the passer, and you don't want your linebackers in secondary dropping too deep defending the pass. In this case, all 3 levels played disciplined, good football with good vision. That's why they're able to stop him for no gain.
And now the Cowboys going to take a timeout. Clock stops with a little under a minute to go in this second quarter. Third and long. The run up the middle, it's Walker. That's a timeout for Dallas. It's their second, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Here's Michael Dixon now, as he's on to punt for the second time. To return, it is Turpin. And he's going to be brought down after a short return. And that's where his team will get possession of the football. The Cowboys offense going to take over here in the last minute of this first half. Their lead is just a point as they begin it on this drive with 1st and 10. He was looking for George Pickens there. And it'll bring up 2nd down.
So on a day where he's completed, give or take half of his passes, Mike, you have to imagine there's a handful of throws he'd like to have back, and I think that last one falls in that category. But the biggest thing, and most fortunately for them, they find themselves with a lead despite a bit of an up-and-down performance out of their quarterback.
And that's going to be incomplete. Coverage was good that time. The contact jarring the ball loose and forcing 3rd down.
It's pretty remarkable at this stage, Mike, that they're even winning this game. I mean, anytime a quarterback is completing less than 50% of his throws, you just don't see that very often, and it just seems like time and time again, this quarterback and his intended targets, they're just not on the same page.
Taking off, he'll try to get there. Dak wisely hits the deck at the end, but he slides after picking up the 1st down.
You certainly can't fault the secondary here. The coverage was almost too good downfield on 3rd down. The quarterback realized quickly there was nowhere for him to go with the ball, decides to become a runner. He's able to pick up the 1st down and some.
Dak going to throw it here on 1st down. That's going to wind up incomplete. Not much time remaining. Time for one more snap here in this first half.
You know, it's hard to speculate, Mike. We sit up here and we try to just interpret and assume what's going on in the minds of the players and the minds of the coaches, but they seem to me to be a little bit rattled. All these negative plays have really started to pile up in the first half. He's got to settle down, have some more efficiency on these early downs, and get his offense into some sort of rhythm. Man, that would have been such a nice boost for this group going into halftime. The snap was good, the hold was good. He just couldn't quite get it through the uprights.
1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Oh, and he's going to go down. He could not get rid of it, and that's going to bring an end to this first half.
Okay, Mike, thank you. More from you and Greg in a moment. But for now, welcome one and all to our EA Sports Halftime Reports. The Cowboys were treated to a fine first half from number 4, quarterback Dak Prescott. He has a touchdown pass, and that amounted to the only touchdown of the game for either team thus far. This one's been all you could hope for as an NFL fan. Just a one-point game here at halftime. This has been as much fun as you could hope for with both these teams in it to win it.
Okay, Coach, thanks a bunch. We'll see which team's adjustment's going to pay dividends here. Like we're going to play a big role in who wins this one. They play it short, taken at the 15-yard line. Nice job by the return team as he takes it across the 30-yard line. The Cowboys offense looking to get back to work as we begin this third quarter. They'll see if they can put something together here, beginning with 1st and 10. And he's going to be brought down up past the 45.
This is where you have to be careful, Mike. You find yourself winning in the second half. Human instinct says, all right, let's just sit on the ball and protect the lead and let the clock run out. You can't do that. Stay aggressive. Do what got you here. Continue to mix the run with the pass. Keep your foot on the gas and try to extend this lead.
Prescott on 1st down. He'll get this out to his running back. And no chance to turn and go. That one good for just a couple.
All right, so there's really 3 areas that a modern NFL running back has to excel at. Number 1, the traditional handoffs. Number 2, you have to be excellent and reliable in pass protection. And maybe bigger than all of them, you have to be at least serviceable out of the backfield in the passing game.
And he's going to have a 1st down. Good run down inside the 45-yard line. Well, they weren't going to get him the second time with the same back. Defense all over that one. They stop him for no gain.
The integrity of the defense, Mike, is based on every defender holding their gap. That's exactly what we saw out of this defensive tackle. Not only did he hold his gap, he's able to shed his block and make the play.
Back to the ground. He'll get it again. And he will take this down close to a 1st down. Pickup of 9. They've got him a yard short of the sticks.
It's tough to completely celebrate, Mike, when you don't pick up the 1st down, but that's a run you will take every single time. I mean, good yardage, and in a lot of situations, it'll get you the 1st down, just not here.
Trying to pick this one up on the ground. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage. The stop made at the 31, but a new set of downs. 1st down picked up.
I think everybody in the stadium saw that run coming, Mike, but good luck stopping it. I mean, all he really had to do was just fall forward, and it would be enough to pick up the 1st down.
Right back to him on 1st down. And that'll be a pickup of 3. Second and 7. Here's Prescott. A short throw caught by Ferguson. And they'll hold him to a gain of just a couple and sets up third down.
When you put plays like this on tape, it sends a message to every defender across the league. When you play this offense and this guy has the ball, you better bring it when you come to contact him, because if not, you're going to be on the wrong end of it.
On third down, Prescott. He'll look middle, and he's got his man complete. His second grab on this drive, good for 11 yards, but most importantly, a first down.
And this is what modern-day running back looks like in the NFL. They want to be able to activate these players in the passing game, no different than they do with the tight ends and the wide receivers. When you look out there and you have a mismatch, you have a linebacker or a safety on your running back, he's expected to win, and that's exactly what he did here.
And they're going to track him down. He couldn't find a receiver, and down he goes.
If there's any silver lining for this drive, Mike, it's the fact that at least this sack occurred on an early down. So I guess technically they have a chance to claw themselves out of this hole, but that's the third sack of the game. And this defense doesn't show any signs of slowing down.
We'll go play action. It's Prescott. Catch is made. That is Schoonmaker. And he'll get about 6 before he's taken down.
There's no more efficient play in the NFL, Mike, than the play-action passing game, and you can see here why. You make the defense have to honor both the run and the pass, and he's able to pick up a nice gain to his tight end.
On third down, they'll set up to throw. Forget about it. They're going to lose more yardage there. Good job by the defense, and it's fourth down.
When you throw the ball short of the sticks on third down, you're relying heavily on the yards after the catch. So give credit to the defense here. Once the ball carrier had the ball, multiple guys around him, corralled him, take him down short of the sticks.
He makes up for the earlier miss. This time, the kick is good. And the Cowboys extend their lead to 10-6.
And this is what you want. I mean, you clearly have the advantage, but you want to continue to apply pressure. Can you score every time you get the ball? They're able to do that here. They tack on 3 and extend their lead.
Here's Steven Sims to return it. And he'll be brought down right around the 25-yard line. The Seahawks offense trotting back out for their first involvement of this second half. They trail by 4, a touchdown gives them the lead. Drive begins with 1st and 10. From the gun, here's the give to Walker. And a nice run there. He'll be stopped just shy of a first down, a pickup of 9.
This is one of those cases where having high-end speed in the backfield can be such a game changer. The offensive linemen don't need to hold their blocks quite as long. You give this guy a little bit of a crease, and man, he is gone.
Straight ahead, it's Walker. And he's going to be brought down up past the 45.
2nd and short. Normally, this is a great time, Mike, to put the ball in the air and try to press the ball downfield. But in this case, they keep it on the ground. Has a similar effect. They pick up a good gain and a first down.
They'll go 3 tight ends here on 1st and 10. On the ground is Walker. And this time they are ready for him. He'll be thrown for a loss. No big gain that carry. It's 2nd down.
Sometimes you run all those big bodies out there, you kind of tip your hand. I always love going big jumbo personnel for a play action. In this case, they keep the ball on the ground. The defense knew it was coming, and they suffer a loss.
Smith in Jigba, the man in motion. He'll get this complete to Walker. They'll get maybe 3 out of that one, and it's going to set up 3rd down.
Defensive coordinators preach all the time, play pass defense with vision. It's exactly the case here. They're able to rally to the ball, keep that to a short gain.
They're going to try to pick this up on 3rd and 8. A shotgun snap. He'll look to throw. He'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
This offense has to find a way to be better on first and second down, Mike. Living in these third and long situations, must pass, is not a recipe that their offensive coordinator wants to operate in.
The Seahawks sending out their punt team. And this will not turn out to be a good return. Forced backwards, and they get him out of bounds. The home team's offense and their running back getting set for this next possession. They'll break the huddle. Coming up now for 1st and 10. They'll begin here on the ground. Good gainer there. They'll get him out of bounds up past the 35-yard line. Terrific start to this drive. Gain of 23 and a 1st down.
There's a combination of footwork and vision, his ability to kind of weave through traffic and understand where the holes were. It's a really nice job working through some bodies and picking up a big gain.
They'll go with a counter on 1st down. He'll push forward for about a yard. Linebacker Ernest Jones ends that play. Here's 2nd and 9. A shotgun snap for Prescott. Pass completed right side to Ferguson. And it'll be brought down as we tick towards the end of this 3rd quarter. So, points at a premium. Defensive battle so far as we are through 3. Back with more Monday Night Football after this. The backfield empty here for 3rd and 2. Back to throw is Prescott. And this ball incomplete on 3rd down.
And this game almost just flipped completely on his head. You find yourself with a lead, just trying to milk the clock away in the 4th quarter, and that's a gift. I mean, that defender just flat out drops the ball, and if he's able to secure that takeaway, this game looks very different for this offense.
Sims now to return it. And some nifty running on the return. Picked up some good yardage before he was taken down. Out comes the Seattle offense as they get ready for their next possession. They'll do so with 1st and 10. Right away, they'll set up to throw. And he can't hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. What a good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. And it'll be 2nd down.
It's rare to see an offense that finds themselves trailing and say, well, their quarterback's been actually one of their biggest bright spots. Usually that doesn't go hand in hand, so it's a little surprising to see him miss a throw like that on a day where he's completed passes at a highly efficient rate.
Strong running there, pushing his way forward to gain a couple. Big play coming up. This is 3rd down. They'll look to throw. They'll try to set up the screen here. And a good short tackle right there. It stops him a good distance short of the marker. It sets up 4th down.
Just a little slow developing on that screenplay there. It was pretty obvious to the entire defense exactly what was going on. Nobody was thinking pass. Nobody was getting back into their drops, and just nowhere for that back to go.
And that's a nice job of getting to him, making sure that return was not going anywhere. The home team's offense ready to see what they can do with this next possession. The lead sits at 4, so they'll try to add on to that. This drive begins with 1st and 10. And a good run there. Going to get him 5 yards. They'll break the huddle. It's 2nd and 5. Play action now. Prescott. No one open. He'll drop it to his running back. And they'll have it across midfield down at the opposing 46-yard line.
A lot could go wrong anytime you decide to put the ball in the air here late in the 4th quarter as you're trying to run out the clock and protect this lead. But at the same time, I like that they haven't gone super conservative, just handoff right, handoff left, and it just turns into tackling practice. So I like the balance of making the defense defend everything, because right now, possess the ball, protect the ball, and ultimately just run the clock out.
And some space opens as he's brought down following a gain of 6. They'll come up now for 2nd down and 4. Operating from the gun, here's Dak. A throw left side, but it's incomplete.
Just a little bit too much juice on that one, and you just can't throw the ball out of bounds. Give your receiver a chance to go up and compete for the ball, but when you miss that far wide, he's got no shot.
Here's a 3rd down and 4. From the shotgun, it's Dak. They'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
It's just so hard to be a good offense in the NFL, Mike, when you are not good on 3rd down. Your inability to extend drives, it either puts a lot of pressure on your coaches to be aggressive on 4th down or simply punt or take a field goal. You have to maintain possession and give you more cracks to score touchdowns.
This one has plenty of leg, and it is good. A big 3 points as they extend their 4th quarter lead.
So anytime an offense comes off the field after settling for 3, you always have to take the good with the bad. In order to get down there in field goal range, you had to do something positive to move the ball. But at the same time, how are we going to be able to finish these drives and convert for 6 the next time we get down there?
Across the 20, they'll mark him down before the 25-yard line. And that's where the offense will take over. The Seahawks offense getting their final instructions before heading back onto the field. And they are still searching for that first touchdown of the game. Greg, this defense that they're going against has been like a brick wall.
And especially this front 7. And listen, Mike, we all know this is a passing league. But what you want to do is you want to at least be unpredictable on offense, meaning you...
Oh, he's going to be bottled up and taken down. They got him.
Defense came out in a soft zone, and I think it caught the quarterback a little off guard. He was trying to attack them downfield. By the time he was able to get through his progression to his check down, he ran out of time, and that's all the pass rush needed to get into the backfield and bring him down.
After the loss of 3, it is 2nd and 13. Here's a handoff to Walker, running to the left. And he is not going to get away. Might have gotten a yard, but it will set up 3rd down. He'll look to throw. He'll look deep, left sideline. That is caught. It's Valdez-Scantling. And he's going to take this one all the way. 78 yards. Touchdown, Seattle. A huge touchdown there in the 4th quarter, and now just a point away from tying the game.
And that's one of those drives, Mike, where you know your best is needed. Can you come through here late and give your team a chance? They're an extra point away from tying this thing up, and we got ourselves a ball game.
So they're not level yet. A critical extra point attempt to follow. The kick is good, and that will tie this game here in the 4th quarter. even. Fourth quarter, everything we've wanted. What's in store in the remaining time? And they'll be set up well as he is past the 35-yard line. Here's Dak Prescott and the Cowboy offense set to go again. And this defense has really had their way so far, intercepting him twice, forced into a number of bad throws, and generally the D has just made it tough to operate all game long. 1st and 10 now from the 36. Prescott. To the left side, he's got Ferguson, and he's going to be brought down up past the 45.
These are some of the most difficult situations for a coach to handle because it's a combination of you have to be aggressive to go score. You're trying to win the game, of course, but there's also an element of time and clock management. So it's going to be very interesting to see the play selection over these next couple downs.
And a nice run. Get him about 9. It'll bring up 2nd down. They'll stick with him again. And that'll give him a 1st down. Tackle made after the pickup of 3. Prescott now. Pass brought in by Ferguson. And he's not going to get too far, tackled after a gain of just a yard.
Defense does a nice job here initially using zone coverage to take away the middle of the field. That's the most valuable real estate in football. Quarterback gets off his first read, sees some openings to the sideline, and him and his receiver are able to connect.
That's to Ferguson once again. And they bring him down inside the 25-yard line.
These crossing concepts are frequently used, Mike, throughout the entire game, all across the league. And what it does is it creates a lot of natural rubs. You run out the backside of the defense and rely heavily on the yards after the catch, and it's exactly how they're able to pick up this big gain.
2 minutes remain in the 4th quarter. Greg and I back for the conclusion in a moment. Plenty of time, all 3 timeouts left. It's 1st and 10. Williams. And he'll plow forward for a gain of 4 yards. Second and 6 coming up. They'll run. Only a couple on that one. It'll set up 3rd down. They'll run here. And it looks like he's got enough for the 1st down. Let's wait for the mark. Yes, that run, that's enough to move the chains. They'll stick to the ground. And he'll work forward for about 3. It's 2nd down. Timeout Seahawks. That is their 2nd. They get the stoppage with 65 seconds remaining. They'll come up now for 2nd down. They'll keep it on the ground. Now Seattle will use the final timeout. The stoppage comes with just over a minute to play in this one. A massive play here. Late, tie game, third down. And this is a touchdown. They were not going to be denied, and they have taken the lead here in the final minute of play.
When you start talking about the qualities of a top-tier back in the NFL, Mike, we all talk about size, speed, the ability to keep your feet, the ability to have balance at contact. But the part we don't talk enough about is patience, understanding the blocking scheme, the timing, when to hit the hole, as much as what hole to hit. And I think you get a great example of what that looks like when it all comes together. He takes advantage of the scheme, and next thing you know, he hits his head on the goalpost.
Aubrey now for the extra point. It's up and good. And the Cowboys will go up by 7. So the kickoff team out there one final time in the final minute as they kick it away. On the return, here's Sims. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. The visitors' offense ready to come back out for this next possession. They trail here by a touchdown as this drive will start with a first down. They'll drop to throw. They'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
A great pass rush is like a closer in baseball. When you bring them into the game, it's all but over. That's exactly the case here. It doesn't result necessarily in a sack, but it was the hit that altered the throw just enough to end that play before it started.
Back to the air once more on second down. That's into traffic, but taken in. And he's going to be about a yard short of the first, getting it up to the 36.
As the saying goes, Mike, you need your big-time players to make big-time plays, and the moment doesn't get bigger than this. Find yourself down. A touchdown gives you a chance to win this thing in regulation, and I think they got a shot.
That is incomplete. And here we go. They're down to what could be their final play. It's fourth down.
They desperately needed that one, Mike. Down here late, they've only got a few remaining snaps to go, and it puts all of the pressure of the game now on fourth down. Let's see what play call they have in a gotta-have-it situation. And right now, this quarterback needs to make his best throw in the biggest moment of the game.
And he's going to have the Seahawks first down as they wind up getting 13 on fourth down. 13 yards on that one. Move the sticks. It's a first down. So it's a win for the Cowboys. They use a little home cooking here. They play a complete football game, and they can send their fans home quite happy. So that'll just about do it for Greg Olson and our entire team. I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Cowboys as we say so long from Arlington.